Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a giant, maybe the giant of literature, Don Quixote, but we're going beyond just the tilting at windmills.
Right.
We want to look at the guy who wrote it, Miguel de Cervantes, his own pretty wild life, and, well, what seems like the book's actual mission.
Exactly. Because our sources, they really show Don Quixote wasn't just, a funny story about some crazy old knight. It was more like a literary weapon.
A weapon.
Yeah, crafted specifically to basically destroy this whole genre. He couldn't stand the books of chivalry. It's kind of a demolition job disguised as a novel.
Okay, let's start with Cervantes himself then, because his life story, it's frankly more adventurous than most of the knights he wrote about. He wasn't just sitting in a study.
Oh, definitely not. He was a soldier. Fought at the Battle of Lepanto, a really huge naval battle in 1571.
And he saw serious action there.
He sure did. Got badly wounded, actually.
Yeah.
Spent something like 7 months laid up in hospital in Messina.
Hmm.
And it cost him the use of his left hand. Permanently. There's this great line in one source calling it a sacrifice for the greater glory of the right. Gives the sense of the man's own view of honor, maybe.
Wow. Okay, so a decorated wounded veteran. But his adventures didn't stop there.
Not even close. A few years later, 1575, he's sailing back from Naples and bang, captured. He and his brother, taken by Algerine pirates, dragged off to Algiers.
And this is where things get complicated.
Yeah, because his military reputation, it kind of worked against him. His captors found these letters he was carrying, letters of recommendation to the king from big names like Don John of Austria. So the captors figured, whoa, this guy must be seriously important, rich.
Ah, so they jacked up the ransom price.
Massively. His family back home, they scrambled. His poor father sold property. His sisters gave up their dowries. But the amount they raised,
Not enough?
the captor basically laughed at it. And that led to 5 years. 5 years of captivity for Cervantes.
5 years? That's brutal. And knowing Cervantes' background, I doubt he just sat there waiting.
Did he try to escape?
Oh, constantly. The sources show incredible resilience, really. He tried escaping on foot towards Oran, but the guide ditched them.
Okay.
Then he organized this hiding place, like in a garden cave outside the city for escaped Christians. That went on for months.
Try again.
His biggest attempt involved actually plotting to buy an armed ship, an armed frigate. The plan was to get himself and about 60 other captives out.
60 people? That's audacious.
It was, but it got betrayed by another Spaniard, apparently out of some kind of professional jealousy. Yeah. And when the ruler, the Dey of Algiers, found out, he was ready to execute Cervantes on the spot. They had the rope around his neck, hands tied, and Cervantes refused to name names, wouldn't implicate anyone else involved. He only confessed that he and 4 other gentlemen who'd already left Algiers had planned it.
That took guts. Incredible guts. Apparently, it actually impressed the Dey. Instead of killing him, he just sent him back to the prison, more heavily ironed than before. That's how the source puts it.
So this guy, Cervantes, he lives through real military horror, real captivity, shows real, defiant honor. And then he sits down to write this book that basically mocks the whole idea of knightly heroism.
That's the fascinating tension, isn't it? He wasn't mocking real honor, the kind he lived. He was mocking the fake, overblown, frankly absurd version you found in those chivalry books everyone was reading.
Right.
And the book's purpose, it's not hidden. It's right there in the preface. A friend supposedly tells him the novel should aim for one thing: to destroy the authority and influence which books of chivalry have in the world and with the public.
Just flat out says it, destroy the genre.
Exactly. It's a clear mission statement.
It's kind of amazing that such a huge, influential book started with such a negative goal, almost. Tear something down.
But to do that effectively, it had to be entertaining. The advice was to write it, musically, pleasantly, plainly, using clear words.
Make them laugh while you dismantle their favorite stories.
Precisely. Move the melancholy to laughter, and the merry made merrier still. It had to be readable, enjoyable, even while it was being totally subversive.
And it's so self-aware about literature itself, like that bit about faking the fancy poems at the beginning of books.
Oh, yeah. The advice is hilarious. Just write the praise poems yourself, the friend says, and then just slap any old name on them, father them on Prester John of the Indies or the Emperor of Trebizond. Who cares?
Right. He's winking at the reader saying, I see all the silly tricks writers use.
Exactly. He's showing you the literary sausage being made before he even starts the main story.
Okay, so mission declared, satire mode engaged. And the madness starts right away at home, doesn't it? With his niece and housekeeper watching him lose it.
Yeah, they complain he reads for 2 days straight. No sleep, no food. Then suddenly he jumps up, grabs a sword.
And starts hacking at the walls.
Slashing the walls, yeah. Thinking he's killing giants. 4 of them, apparently. Then he drinks cold water, convinced it's some magic potion from a wizard named Esquire. It's very physical, very messy.
It makes the madness seem less abstract, more like a real disruptive illness, which leads to the famous scene with the library.
Ah, yes. The curation. The local priest and the barber, Master Nicholas, decide they need to intervene. Literary critics / exorcists.
And they go through his books one by one.
Condemning most of them to a bonfire, like heretics. But they do make some exceptions.
Right, they save a couple like Amadas of Gaul.
Amadis, yeah, and Palmerin of England. But the one they really praise, the one called the best book in the world.
Tirante el Blanco, why that one?
Okay, get this. Because in that book, the knights eat, and they sleep, and they die in their beds, and they even make wills.
So because they're normal.
Exactly. It's the ultimate joke. The best chivalry book is the one that occasionally admits its heroes are actual human beings who do mundane things, not just paragons fighting monsters 204/7.
That's brilliant. Okay, so book's purged, Don Quixote is fully committed, hits the road, and immediately causes trouble.
Instantly. First people he meets, some traders from Toledo, he stops them and demands they declare that his imaginary lady love, Dulcinea del Toboso, is the fairest maiden in the world.
Which is, you know, objectively insane.
Completely. But according to the warped rules of chivalry he's adopted, it's required. And when they quite reasonably refuse, well, it doesn't end well for anyone.
And this pattern continues, right? Mistaking things, getting beaten up, but always filtering it through his delusion. Like the inn.
Oh, the inn scene. Classic. He's absolutely convinced it's a castle, gets into this brawl with a mule driver, and this serving girl, Maritones, gets thoroughly pummeled.
But that's not how he sees it.
Not at all. He decides the hand that hit him must belong to a giant, attached to an arm, naturally. And the beating itself. Clearly the work of an enchanted Moor who was jealous of the damsel in the castle, meaning the innkeeper's daughter.
He literally can't see reality. It has to fit the story in his head. He's trapped in his own narrative.
Perfectly put. He's the ultimate example of confirmation bias, maybe. Yeah. But, you know, the book isn't just slapstick and delusion. It shifts.
How so?
It starts weaving in these really quite deep discussions, using the characters and situations to explore some pretty serious ideas.
Like the story of Marcella the shepherdess. That one feels different.
Absolutely. It starts as this tragic tale told by a goat herd about a beautiful, cold-hearted shepherdess, Marcella, and this guy Chrysostom, who supposedly died of unrequited love for her. Standard stuff, almost.
But then Marcella shows up.
And she defends herself.
Yeah.
And her argument is, well, it's incredibly modern, really. She says basically, look, just because I'm beautiful and you find me attractive doesn't mean I owe you my love. Especially, she adds, if the guy pursuing her is maybe not so great himself or ugly. She argues her scorn isn't cruelty, it's just honesty. It's her defending her freedom not to love someone back.
That completely flips the script on the whole courtly love tradition, where the lady is just this passive prize.
Right. Totally. Cervantes uses her to critique that whole idea. She refuses to be just an object in some guy's romantic quest.
And there are other serious debates too, right? Like Don Quixote himself arguing about arms versus letters.
Yeah, that's a fascinating one. Don Quixote, the supposedly crazy guy, gives this really eloquent, structured defense of the military profession, arms arguing it's superior to scholarship or law letters.
Which seems odd if he's just meant to be a figure of fun. Why give him such a strong argument?
Well, remember, Cervantes was a man of arms. Maybe he felt that profession was undervalued or misunderstood. Don Quixote argues the whole point of arms, the ultimate goal, isn't glory, it's peace.
Ah, okay.
The greatest boon that men can desire in this life, he calls it. That's what the soldier strives for, ultimately.
So the soldier endures more hardship for a higher purpose.
That's the core of it. He contrasts the scholar's life, predictable poverty maybe, lack of clean shirts, begging for soup, with the soldier's life, which is extreme, unpredictable hardship. Bad pay, freezing in winter, constant risk of death or maiming.
Like Cervantes himself experienced.
Exactly. All in pursuit of that difficult, maybe distant goal of securing peace for everyone else. It's a powerful defense put in the mouth of his madman.
Okay, so the novel deepens, but then in the second part, the focus seems to shift towards, towards disillusionment, right? And other people getting involved in his madness.
Very much so. Don Quixote decides he needs to do penance, like his hero Amadis of Gaul. He goes off to the Sierra Morena Mountains, changes his name to Beltenebros.
All because Dulcinea rejected him, even though he's never actually properly met her?
Right. It's penance for an imaginary slight from an imaginary perfect lady. Meanwhile, you've got Sancho.
Ah, Sancho. Still the realist.
Always. He still wants his reward, his island or kingdom, but he's getting wary. He keeps muttering things like, honey is not for the mouth of the ass, meaning maybe these grand quests aren't for guys like him. He complains they just lead to kicks and blanketings.
He's learning the hard way. And then the Duke and Duchess show up.
Oh, the Duke and Duchess. This is where the satire gets kind of cruel, actually. They find Don Quixote hilarious, so they decide to play along, but really, they're just messing with him and Sancho for their own entertainment.
They stage these elaborate pranks, right, to disenchant Dulcinea.
Exactly. They set up this whole fake magic ritual, involving Merlin no less, and the requirement for breaking the spell.
It falls on Sancho, doesn't it?
Poor Sancho.
Yeah.
He has to give himself, let me check the number, 3,300 lashes minus 5. So 3,200 lashes minus 5.
Yeah.
So 3,295 lashes on his bare backside.
Ouch, that's not funny. That's just mean.
It is. And then there's another prank where one of the Duchess's maids, Altisidora, pretends to die of love for Don Quixote. And guess how she's revived?
More pain for Sancho.
You got it. Pinches, smacks, even pinpricks, delivered by other servants. It's basically the nobility amusing themselves by tormenting the lower classes through the guise of humoring a madman.
There's a real edge there, which maybe leads into Sancho's time as governor.
Yes, the famous governorship of the island of Barataria, which is, of course, another setup by the Duke.
And how does that go for him?
It's chaos, but also kind of telling. He tries to be fair, make some common sense rulings, but he's constantly undermined, especially by this doctor, Pedro Horacio Torteafuera.
Dr. Eat Outside.
Right. Who forbids Sancho from eating practically anything, claiming it's for his health, but really just starving him as part of the joke. And then they stage a fake enemy attack.
It sounds exhausting.
It is. And Sancho, bless him, figures it out. He quits. He says basically, I wasn't born to be a governor. I neither lose nor gain, meaning he's no better or worse off. He just realizes, my shoulders cannot bear the cares of governing. It's too much, too corrupt, not for him.
A moment of true self-awareness, but Don Quixote's journey has to end too. How does that happen?
It's forced on him. He finally loses a duel to someone called the Knight of the White Moon.
Who turns out to be
his neighbor. The university bachelor, Samson Carrasco, in disguise again. He tried before and failed, but this time he wins. And the condition of the duel, by the laws of chivalry, Don Quixote follows.
Is that he has to go home.
Right. Retire from knight-errantry for a full year. It's the ultimate defeat, imposed by the very rules he lives by.
The fantasy is finally pierced by reality, disguised as fantasy.
Exactly. The armor has to come off. But even then, even facing retirement, Cervantes gives him one last little twist.
What's that?
He doesn't just decide to go home and rest. No, he decides to fulfill his year of retirement by becoming a shepherd.
After all that.
Yep. He plans a whole new fantasy life. He invites the priest and the bachelor Carrasco to join him. They'll all be shepherds together.
Seriously?
Yep. Yeah, they even pick out pastoral names for themselves. Don Quixote will be Quixotes, Carrasco is Carrascon, Sancho is Panchino. It's like, he can't not live in some kind of literary world.
So, Cervantes, the actual soldier, the guy who survived Lepanto and 5 years in Algiers, writes this massive book to kill off one kind of heroic fiction.
Right, mocking the knights in their impossible quests.
And then his hero, Don Quixote, after trying knighthood, briefly trying governorship, finally gets forced into retirement and immediately jumps into another literary fantasy, pastoral romance.
It's an amazing ending, isn't it? The whole book is this dance between Cervantes' hard-won reality and the fictions people live by.
So here's the thing to maybe chew on. The book starts with Don Quixote wanting to destroy the genre of chivalry, but he ends it by embracing pastoral fantasy, becoming the shepherd Quixotes. Does that mean his cure is just swapping one delusion for another, maybe a harmless one instead of a dangerous one, or is there something else there?
Right.
Could choosing the simple, peaceful life of a shepherd actually be him finally finding that peace he argued for, the greatest boon that arms was supposed to achieve?
That's a great question. Is it just another fantasy, or is it peace disguised as fantasy? Something to think about.